Alright, so in the last video we got the cradle all mounted up in the car. So that leaves us time to get to the rear suspension. So got the cradle pulled out, all the suspension off of it. We're gonna have to take 3.5 inches out on this side. We're gonna take 3.5 inches out on this side. We gotta bring this thing in, but we can't do anything in the center because we gotta leave all the mounting points for the rear end. So cut this out, bring everything in, tie it all back together, and then instead of building control arms like we wanted to originally, we're just gonna have to have custom axles made this way. But that way, all the stock control arm suspension parts, if something happens, we can always go to the parts store. We can get another one in a bind. If we build all those, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 custom pieces on each side of the car that we'd have to build. So this way, all the stock stuff will work. All we got to do is get some axles, so we'll order an extra set when we get those. That way, we have a spare axle, and we don't have to worry about suspension parts. We can still go to the parts store and get everything for this car if something would happen on the road. So I guess it leaves us time to get cutting. Alright, got the back side of the cradle tacked back together here. Got the pumpkin in there. Make sure everything lines up on all the mounts. Definitely a big change and everything, so no biggie. Just got to build stuff for the front side of the cradle. It's definitely narrowed up a whole bunch here, so get it all tacked together good, get a few braces in it, and put everything in the car, make sure everything works before we weld it all up. Alright, got the suspension back on the cradle here. Thing looks tiny now. That way we can kind of get everything up into place and see how it's all going to work. See what else we need to do. Alright, so we're working on getting the rack in this thing. So we had to narrow the cradle. So this is where it mounted before. So that's narrowed in really tight. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take this, going to mount it in the block and put mounting ears coming off each side to be able to bolt the rack in. Then we're going to take this outer tie rod in. I'm going to take 3 3/16 out of them. So we're going to shorten them up here. Same over here. Then we'll weld them back together, sleeve them, and be ready to go. Oh, got the bracket made for the adapter for the power steering. Just got to do a little more notching over here in the rail so we can get everything over and into place. Alrighty, another weekend's over. Made a lot of progress. Got adapter made for the power steering mount. Got everything in. Do a little bit of notching in the cradle there. Gonna have to run a sleeve through the rail here so we can get the steering in. But front end's all mocked up, coming together. Christy got some good surgery done over here. Got the rocker cut out. Got the rusty floor out of this thing. Making some good progress on it. Got the rear cradle all cut down, mocked back up underneath the car, some braces cut out of there. So now we can start fabbing up some mounts. Probably gonna have to do a C-notch in the rail, so we got some travel for the upper control arm. Making good progress, so that's the plan. Keep moving forward, have this thing together before we know it. But for now, it's all the time we got this weekend, so thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share with all your friends, and we'll see you next weekend.
Have a good one.